Hi guys, welcome back to Benmore CrossFit at Home. We've got another benchmark workout, this time Helen. Helen is a great, it's one of the girls, one of the great workouts, and it's on paper really simple. It is 3 rounds per time of a 400 meter run, followed by 21 kettlebell swings, kettlebell RX weights are 24 kgs for the guys, 16 kgs for the girls, and 12 pull-ups. So you will do these 3 things in order. That's 1 round. You'll repeat and repeat again. Okay, so because it's for time, it tells us that we're going to try and do this as fast as we can. Now, to give you an indicative time, if you can do this under 10 minutes, you're doing very well. If you're doing this in sort of under 15 minutes, that's fine enough. And if it's going to take you longer than that, you probably want to think about some scaling options, okay? So really you're looking at a sort of a 12-minute workout ideally. I don't think anybody would be able to do this in under 8 minutes. So if you're an absolute pro elite CrossFit Games athlete, you're probably looking at doing this maybe in like 7.5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, right? So 10 minutes is still, is exceptionally good. 12 minutes is pretty normal, which is still very good. And then 15 minutes would probably kind of be max. So if you think it's going to take you longer than that, then let's think about some scaling options before we get into the warm-up. Okay, so first of all for the run, distance. It's the easiest thing to scale. If you find that your 400 meter run takes you more than 2 minutes, scale it. And scale it by just running less, okay? 50 meters is 1 set of lampposts. So find a lamppost, walk to the next one, you've walked 50 meters. So if you find that, say 300 meters, and you can do in 2 minutes, you can only do 300 meters, that's fine, that's your workout. If you find that you can only do 200 meters in 2 minutes, that's fine, that's your workout. So just find the distance that is doable for you within a maximum period of a 2 minute window. Okay. Then we'll think about kettlebell swings. The easiest way of scaling this in the first instance is just to think about the weight. Just make it lighter weight. Now you mightn't have that option, you might only have a fixed weight. Okay. Then let's think about volume. If doing 21 kettlebell swings just feels like it absolutely kills you. Now I'm not talking about making it just easy because you just don't want to do the work. I'm talking about if you find that 21 kettlebell swings takes you like 2 minutes and you can't do any more than 3 or 4 to go, then consider taking the volume down in chunks of 3s. So down to 18, down to 15, down to 12. Play around with that a little bit. And you should be able to do whatever number you're going for pretty much unbroken. And you should probably be able to do them in about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, so again, that gives you an indication however many kettlebell swings you can do comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but you could do in 45 seconds. That's probably your number. And then pull-ups. Scaling pull-ups down to variations of rows. Okay, so it's completely up to you in terms of how you scale, and you'll know that you scaled it correctly if you finish the workout in that sort of 12-minute-ish window. Okay. If you finish it in 6 minutes, guess what? And you reckon you did it RX, you're going to the CrossFit Games. If it took you 20, and that was too light and it was too easy. If it takes 20 minutes, you didn't scale it enough. So just to give you something to shoot for. Any questions on the scaling, drop me a line and I'll help you work that out specifically for you as an individual. It's the sort of thing that we do in class, but you're not in class. Hey, hopefully, not long. I can feel it, it's coming. Okay. So let's get a warm up. Let's get 5 minutes running, rowing, skipping, whatever you've got, just to get your body weight, get your heart rate up, get your body temperature up. And then we're going to go through a relatively quick routine. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 air squats and 5 pass through. Erin, do you want to get involved in the warm up?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Show me an air squat. So before, do what I say, okay? Thumbs up if you think you are cool. Thumbs on your shoulders if you think CrossFit is cool. Now, are your ankles below your thumbs?
Thanks.
Thereabouts. Okay. I'm going to try and torch in your eyes. Don't let that light go in your eyes. Sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Go on, go on, go on. Sit down. And stand up. Alright, good work. Good work. So, those little points of performance are really easy to think about. Much other way down it. So, in terms of getting your feet the right distance apart, they're approximately between hip and shoulder width apart. So if you put your thumbs on your shoulders and make sure your heels are directly beneath your thumbs, then you're in a good place. Keeping your arms up just means your chest stays up the whole time, and we want that in our air squats. And when we sit down in a seat, so we move our bum back first. Stand. There you go. All right. So you stay here and keep your legs really straight. Fold over, touch the floor for me. Walk into a plank. Okay, stay there. Walk back a bit. Go back a bit. Go back a bit. Stick your bum in the air. Nice. And look over to your mummy. Look over to the door. Keep your legs straight. Stand up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. Alrighty. So that's a pass through. Okay? So you will do 10 air squats, followed by 5 pass through, and you'll do the whole thing 3 times. Okay. Next, we're going to do a runner's lunge. And you can come and join me with this one, alright? We come here beside. So we take our foot, and we kick it forward. And we kick it forward maybe, it's just as wide as we can go. Okay? And we put one hand down on the ground. And we take the other hand. Go on there, make the same as me. Put your leg back more. Go on the back, put it back more. And see your hand, put it in line with your foot. Yeah, so bring your hand, so it's just right beside your foot. No, your other hand, your left hand. No, do that again. There we go. So take your left hand and put it in line with your foot. And take your weight off this one and stand up. Like just stand up. Bring your head up. Like this. Alright? Do me this hand. Okay? Alright. So you're in this position to start to set up. Look at your fingers. Put your hand through. Look at your fingers all the way around. And we're just trying to open up the inner part of our hips and also our thoracic spine. Okay, runner's lunge. 10 per side, and then a good morning. Fingers on the belly button. Aaron, finger on your belly button. Finger on the hard part of your tummy, just up above. Okay. Keep your legs straight. Bend over, and we keep going until we feel the gap between our thumb and our little fingers is going to get smaller, and then we stop. Okay. So for me, it's like this. And I need to stop there because I feel as if I'm about to close that space. Squeeze your bum up the top. 20 of those. Okay, so 10 runner's lunges per side, followed by 20 good mornings. Repeat the whole thing twice. Then we're going to get into our usual pipe routine. And we're going to start off with right hand on top of the pipe. Not at the top, just right hand on top. Okay? Push the pipe away from you as much as you can so that it's completely straight. And make sure your back is flat. And push the pipe, in this case because my right hand is on top, push it over to the left. And I'm pushing my shoulders down through my arms. Poking my head through as well. Now I'm not just sticking my head through like this. keeping my flat back and pushing that pipe away as much as I can. Okay, so we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. And then we're going to do 10 of each of the following movements, and I'll show you each of them once or twice. So the first one, we start off like this. Yep, don't let the ice cones break. So what Erin's referring to there is we keep our elbows completely locked and loaded the whole time, and we keep our hands a full grip. Now you might be using a brush shaft or something like this, or a PVC pipe. This is a telescopic extension pole for painting. Whatever, it doesn't really matter what it is. Okay, so we keep our elbows completely straight, so the ice cream cones don't want to break. We pass it over our head. Okay, so you'll do that 10 times. The next one, called Round the World, is you keep one edge of the pipe planted, and you take the other end of the pipe, and you pass it around the front of your face, and then around the back of your head. So it's a bit like you're sort of canoeing or something like that. So that'll be 10, and then you do the same thing, but you just go the other way around. You do 10 of those. And then you finish off, left hand on top, push the pipe away from your flat back, and because it's my left hand's on top, I push it over to the right hand side, and hold that for 30 seconds. Okay, so your shoulders should be well warmed up for that. So, let's talk about pull-ups. So, the order in which we will warm up for our pull-ups, we're going to warm up our scapulas, shoulders. We're going to make sure we've got enough strict pull-ups before we move on to our kipping pull-ups. Okay, so that's the order. Let's just focus on what are the options for rows. Now, we did a lot of options for rows yesterday, didn't we?
I can't remember. If it wasn't yesterday.
No, because it was squats and pull-ups. We did lots of different options.
Yes, we did.
So, in terms of your rows, I'm not going to go over all of those. You can flick back to the video from yesterday. But very briefly, a row with your odd object will look like this. First of all, notice where the weight is hanging here when I'm in my neutral position. It's not at the front. It's not completely at the back. It's right in the middle. I'm taking my elbow and I'm going to pull it through my stomach. Well, first of all, we're going to do our scapular warm-ups, okay? So here we're just going to pull our shoulder back, back, back. I'm not pulling my shoulder up, not bringing it up to me here. I'm bringing my shoulder back. Okay? So I want you to do 10 reps, twice on both sides. Okay? So 2 sets of 10. Just like this. And then from here, you'll do 2 sets of 10 rows. And you're just taking your elbow and you're pulling it through your stomach. Now, if you're doing this, you ain't doing it right. You're going to keep everything square on. Those are your options for your rows. If you want to have a look at the bar rows, the table rows, covered that off in quite a bit of detail yesterday. Okay, so let's focus for those of you who are going to be using a pull-up bar. First of all, I want you to do 2 sets of 10 of these, and that's our scapular warm-up. So hang on the bar. Bring your shoulders up, let them down. Up, down, up, down. Bum's tight, tummy's tight, toes are tight.
Everything is tight.
Everything's tight.
Except for your head.
Okay, 2 sets of 10. From here, we're then going to think about, do you have enough capacity in your strict pull-ups to safely think about doing kipping pull-ups? So, if you can do 3 good strict pull-ups, then you can move on to kipping. Okay? Strict pull-up. Let's do it here. Toes are tight. First of all, thumb's tight, tummy is tight, shoulders become tight. Everything's tight. And I pull my elbows into my chest. Just like this. Okay. Importantly, making sure your elbows stay in this position the whole way. So it'll feel like you're pulling your elbows in together. It won't look that way, but mentally that's what it'll feel like. Okay, if you can do 3 strict pull-ups, then we'll start to talk about kipping beats. So kipping beat. This is just getting us accustomed to our shoulders, accustomed to the kipping movement. All of that movement comes from my shoulders and chest. If Sarah was here, as opposed to behind the camera, we'd do this thing where I put my hand out in front of her chest and my hand behind her chest, and she will try and hit those as a target. Okay, so you're trying to lead with your chest and then push away, lead with your back. Okay. 2 sets of 10 just to get yourself warmed up. And then of course, kipping pull-ups. There's a little monkey down here. Kipping pull-ups like something like this. Little cues for your pull-up. When you get to the top of your pull-up, push away to try and initiate that kip again. So, let's think about your options here. If you're doing rows, do your rows. Everybody should be doing a scapular warm-up of some description. If you've got a bar, I want you to see, can you do 3 strict pull-ups? Maybe let you away with 2.5. Okay? If you can, then move on to your kipping beats. And then move on to your full kipping pull-ups, okay? Now, even if you can't do your 3 strict pull-ups, by all means practice your kipping beats, just to get the technique started to, you get your shoulders used to the movement. So what are your options? If you don't want to row, you do have a strict pull-up bar, so you do have a pull-up bar, you don't have enough strict pull-ups to really warrant doing kipping pull-ups. What are your options? Well, if you have a door-mounted pull-up bar, see, can you bring it down a little bit so that it would be the equivalent of sort of this height, in which case you can do jumping pull-ups like this. The important thing when you're doing a jumping pull-up is not to go from here, because actually all I'm doing is I'm just doing that. Okay? You start down here. And you're pulling yourself up. You are using some assistance from your legs, as opposed to just standing here, like one finger on the bar, doing that. That's not an assisted pull-up, that's just jumping. That's an assisted pull-up. Okay. So play around. So if your bar can't come down, have you got something you can stand so you can go up? A stool, a chair, something. So lots of different options, lots of different things for you personally to think about in terms of your pull-ups. Next, kettlebell. You might have a kettlebell, you might have a dumbbell. The principles are exactly the same. Or you might have a small rucksack, doesn't matter. There are two versions that are on the board, Russian and American. Russian comes to here, American comes to here. In the workout, it's American. But we're just going to start off by warming up with a few Russians. Okay. All of that movement comes from my hips. It's this movement. I'm squeezing my butt at the top and popping my hips. Because it's that pop that accelerates the weight up. My arms just guide it, really. So, I want you to, that's not quite right on the board, sorry. So I want you to do 5 Russians. Like this, as I say. Grab the weight, squeeze your bum, and let the kettlebell drop a little bit. Just initiate the movement. And you know you're doing it right because the kettlebell will come and kiss you in the bum, the back. So let me just see if you can get that there. Hopefully the kettlebell's coming through.
Yep.
Kiss on my edge. Okay. And then the American, it's exactly the same thing. You might need a little bit more pop in the hips, squeeze your bum a little bit harder, and just guide the weight above your head. Looks like this. Okay. And make sure it does kiss your butt when it comes back around again. So, those are your options. What you do is you just got a monster heavy kettlebell that you can't swing with. Well, think about volume, think about doing them Russian. Those are your 2 options. Ideally, which is better? 15 kettlebell swings, and 15 American kettlebell swings for 21 Russian. I'd go 21 Russian. So I'd go Russian first, see how you feel, and then if that's still challenging, then scale back the volume a little bit. Okay. And then your test is a 200-meter run, followed by 12 kettlebell swings, followed by 7 pull-ups or rows, or whatever it is you're doing. Rows. Oh, by the way, that would be per side. And it would be the same up here, by the way. Per side, not just 12 rows, it would be 12 per side. So your test is basically half a round and see how it feels. Go get it. Should feel like you could burst through that pretty easily, like you should be able to sprint this. But now remember, if your distance is only 300 meters, because like we talked about scaling options at the start, then it's just half of whatever your distance would be, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's half of whatever you'll do in the swings, and it's half of the pull-ups, okay? So it's just half, or thereabouts. And it's just to get your body accustomed to what's going to come, and hit this as hard as you can, and this test run, give it as full beans, and then give yourself 2 minutes, a quick drink of water, whatever you need to do, get yourself sorted, and then just go for it. It's flat out, 100%. Sprint the run, batter through the kettlebell swings as fast as you can, and pull up as fast as you can as well. I mean, it's just a pure flat out sprint. No skips. No skips. Erin's been practicing her skips. There's no skips today. Sarah, is there anything that you would say?
Behind the camera.
From behind the camera?
From behind the camera. No, I think for me the pull-ups were the limiting factor.
Yeah.
and we rode rather than ran.
It's because we don't want to abandon the children.
Yeah, can't abandon the children in the gym while we go out running.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we've got anything to add.
Okay, cool. It's a great one to attack outdoors, ideally, and hope you have fun, and we'll see you for the next one.
Bye bye.